Hi everyone, today I'm going to build a mortgage calculator in React.js. Let's take a look at the design. As you can see, I'll have a title and four inputs for home price, down payment, interest rate, and loan term. And also I'll have calculate button. Let me provide some values. 1000, 100, interest rate will be 5, and loan term 10 years. And now I'm going to press calculate, and as you can see, we have monthly payment, total loan payment, and total interest amount. Let's get to the code and build our calculator. I launched my Visual Studio Code Hub folder where I store my React projects, and now I'm going to run new terminal and run command npm create beta at latest. And now I need to provide my project name. It will be mortgage calculator. Mortgage calculator. And select React and JavaScript. Now I can navigate to my folder with cd command and run npm install. And now I can open my files, source files, and open app.jsx. And I can remove all code that we have here and provide some h2 tag with mortgage calculator text. Okay, dependencies were installed, and now I can run my project with command npm run dev and start my project. Okay, we have mortgage calculator, and now I can change title to mortgage calculator. Now I'm going to create new component in source files folder components, and inside folder I'm going to create mortgage calculator JSX and also mortgage calculator CSS. Okay, and now I can create functional component. I can hide this panel, and it will be function mortgage calculator and return some JSX. And I'm going to create some container. Let it be div with class name mortgage container. Mortgage container. And inside div I'll place h2 tag. And now I can export my component. Export default mortgage calculator, and I can import my component in app.jsx and remove all this. Import mortgage calculator and just return my component instead h2 tag mortgage calculator. And actually I can remove this photo, and let's take a look what we have. And we don't have anything. Let's check developer tools. Okay, use state is not defined, and I forgot to remove this use state. I'm going to save and check again. Okay, we have our mortgage calculator. I can close this panel, and now we can adjust styles. For styles, I'm going to remove all this hey styles and this, and for button, and also we can remove media styles and change place items to justify content. And adjust styles in app.css. I'm going to just remove all the styles, and let's check. As you can see, we have our title at the top, and now we can add more JSX code to our JSX. And now I'm going to create form and remove this action because I'm going to handle form inside my React code. And now I'm going to create 4 inputs with label, and I will not use HTML4. And the first input is home price, and we can place $sign and add input, and it will have type number, and also we need name. Name will be amount, and this field will be required. And I'm going to add div. It will be container for my label and input. And I'm going to add class name with form group, and just copy paste this form group for other inputs. And the second input will have down payment. It will have type number, and name will be down payment. It's also required. And the next input will be interest rate, and interest rate, and we'll have percent, and name will be interest rate, and the last input will be for long term, and value will be in years. It's also a number, and the name will be long term. And let's check what we have. As you can see, we have our labels and also our inputs. And now we can add button. It will have type submit, and provide value calculate. Text will be calculate, and let's check what we have. Okay, we have our button, and now we can add our styles. And the first style will be for mortgage container, and it's a class. And I'm going to define min width 30 rem, and max width will be 80 rem. And also provide background color white. And also we can add some padding, 1 rem for all sides, and add box shadow 0.05 pixel, and provide some color. I will use this hex color, and also we can add border radius 5 pixels, and also increase font size to 1.2 rem. And now I'm going to use my class mortgage container and provide classes for form, and I'll just add margin button to rem, and now we need styles for our form group. So the mortgage container, and let's check our class name form group, and provide styles, make display flex, and also flag direction over the column, and we can add margin bottom 1 rem, and also add text align left. And now we can add styles for our label, and make font weight bold, and let's check what I have so far. I'm going to refresh the page, and we don't have our styles. Probably I forgot to import. Yeah, I need to import my mortgage calculator CSS. And let's check what I have now. Okay, we have our styles, and now we can add styles for input and button. I'm going to return to my CSS and provide styles for my input. And for the input, I'll make with 100% and add padding 1 rm for all sides, and make border 1 pixel solid and use light blue, and border radius will be 10 pixels, and also we can increase font size to 1.1 rm. Okay, and now we can add styles for button, mortgage container button, and I can add padding 1 rem for top bottom and 2 rem for left right, and set background color and use the same color as for box shadow, and for text I can make color white, and border will be none, and also we can make border radius 10 pixels, and make cursor pointer and increase font size to 1.2 rem. And also for button we can provide hover pseudo class. Let me do it. Attach container button and hover pseudo class. And I'm going to change the background color to something like that. Okay, and let's check what I have so far. And we have our inputs and calculate, and we need to fix our paddings, and let's change box sizing to border box, and we need to do it for input box sizing border box to calculate paddings to the size of the element. And let's check again, and as you can see we have normal paddings. Okay, and we have required fields, and one more thing, I would like to add media styles to decrease the size of our form when for small screens. And, let me do it in styles. I'm going to add media screen, and provide the value max width, and it will be 700 pixels, and I'm going to change mean width for mortgage container, and let it be mean width 20 rem, and let's check what we have. Okay, as you can see the size was decreased. Now I can close this, and let's return to JSX code and write our calculations because we have only required checks. Let's add values to the inputs and calculate our mortgage payment. I'm going to use state hook. As you can see, import was added, and I'm going to create object const form data, and the function to change the state will be set form data, and assign it to my use state, and it will have empty object initially, and would be better to create some initial state because we have object, and it will be initial state, and provide an object with our fields, amount, and also we need down payment. And I'm going to use names of the inputs, interest rate, and also we'll have long term. And all fields will have empty string as initial state, and now I can use my object and set initial state. And now I can add event handler to my form and add on submit and provide function handle submit, and it will be arrow function const handle submit arrow function, and it will have event as parameter, and inside my function I'm going to event default and now I can calculate my payment, and we need function. It will be also arrow function const calculate monthly payment. Okay, and now I can just call this function here, and also we need to change the values of our inputs and set them inside state, and for that we need function handle change, handle change, and it will have event as parameter, and now I'm going to use object destructoring and get name and value from event, and now we can use this name and value. Actually we need event target because name and value inside target, and now we can use our set form data. Okay, and I need to place all these functions inside my component. Okay, and I can just place my initial state outside of the component and set form data. And yeah, and I can set form data and create a new object from form data and change the field that was changed using name and provide value. And now we need to change our inputs and provide value and on change function. And value will be form data and our amount, and on change will be handle change. Okay, I'm going to save it and copy paste value and on change, and change to down payment, and also we can do it in interest rate and to provide value interest rate, and also here for long term and provide value long term. Okay, and we have our handle submit, and let me do console log and provide our form data. And let's check what I have so far. Okay, I'm going to open developer tools and provide some values, calculate, and we need to fill out all fields and calculate. And as you can see, we have our values inside form data, and we can implement our calculate monthly payment function that actually does all our calculations. And for calculations, I'll use this formula. You can see what values we need, but I'll implement the calculations inside my code. And I can use values using object destruction and provide my form data. And we need all values for amount and also down payment and interest rate, and also we need a long term. And now I can calculate a loan amount, and I'm going to use parse float because input provides our string values, and I'm going to use parse float to get float values and minus our down. And let's check if we have down payment, then we will use our down payment with also parse float and our down payment, and if I don't have, I'll have 0. And okay, and now I can calculate this R and N values as you saw in formula. I'm just going to provide the code and use parse float and use this interest rate and divide by 100 and to 12. It will be our R, and our N will be parse float long term, and multiply to 12. And because we have a year, and we are calculating the monthly payment, and we need all months. And now we can get our const numerator, and it will equals loan amount multiply by R, and using math power, and 1 plus R and N. And also we need denominator, and it will be some mass power, and provide 1 plus R and N and minus 1. And now we can calculate our monthly payment. And it will be numerator divide by denominator, and I'm going to use prefixed to provide only 2 digits after point. And also we can calculate our total payable, and use our monthly payment, and multiply by N, and use prefixed, and also 2. And now we can total, and also we can use our total payable to get our total interest, and use our total payable and minus loan amount, and also provide 2 fixed. And now we can add styles, we can add state variables for this monthly payment, total payable, and total interest, and just provide the values to the user. And I'm going to create user state, and I'll have no value initially, and provide values const, and I'll have monthly payment, and set that to be just payment, set payment, and also we need total, and set total, and also we can use interest, and set interest, and now we can set all these values into state, set payment to monthly payment, and set total to total payable, and set interest to total interest. Okay, and now we can provide our values to the user, and let's check. And I'm going to use conditional rendering and check if we have payment, and we calculate payment. We can display all values. And let me add some div, and inside JSX I'll have div, called div, and I need to remove all this. And inside div we'll have h3 text, and provide monthly payment, and we'll have our payment value, and also the same for total loan payment, and we'll have value for total, and so total interest, interest payment, and we'll have our interest. Okay, and let's check what I have. I'm going to provide some values, 1,100, and interest rate will be 5, and long term will be 10 years, and let's do calculate, and as you can see we have our values, and we have our values inside console. Now I can close this console and change values, add more zeros, and we can increase a bit our interest rate and loan sums, and press calculate, and as you can see the values all changed, and everything is working. If you like the video, subscribe to my DevWeb App channel, like the video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.